story tape we're having today is The Mightiest by Keiko, Kasza. We've been reading some of her books, and I always like them very much. I've read this one quite often at schools, and since it talks about the mightiest, I've asked the boys and girls to read this, listen to the story, and then decide who is the mightiest. And it's interesting to see what their answers are. And this is the story. Deep in the quiet woods, there was a golden crown sitting on a rock. And if you see here, it says, "For the mightiest." One day, 3 animals discovered the crown. "Finders keepers," yelled Bear, "that's mine." "No way," said the elephant. "I saw it first." "Wait, guys," said the lion. "Something is written there on the rock. It says, 'For the mightiest.'" "Well then," said the lion, grabbing the crown, "this is obviously mine." "No, it's not," said Bear. "I'm the mightiest." "Step aside," said Elephant. "Give me my crown." And on the animals argued. And suddenly, off in the distance, the lion saw a tiny old woman walking toward them. "Listen," he whispered. "Let's settle this once and for all. Each of us will try to scare that old lady, and whoever scares her the most gets the crown." "Sounds fair," the others agreed. So they hid behind the bushes and waited anxiously for the tiny old woman to come out. And when she finally reached the bushes, the lion jumped up. "Roar!" "Oh my!" cried the tiny old woman. "You scared the daylights out of me." And then the bear jumped up. "Grrr." "Oh my!" said the tiny old woman. "You scared the daylights out of me." And finally it was the elephant's turn. He sucked in a lot of air and "Oh my!" said the tiny old woman. "You scared the daylights out of me." There was no way of knowing who had scared the tiny old woman the most. "My roar made her jump," boasted the lion. "My grrr had her shaking in her boots," growled the bear. "My brrr blew her away," shouted the elephant. And they were so busy arguing that they didn't notice that they had company. And suddenly, an enormous giant towered over them. "Roar, grrr, brr, on you," he yelled. "I happen to be the biggest and the baddest and the mightiest giant in the world. Now give me that crown." And with the crown on his head, the giant scooped up the 3 animals. "To prove I'm the mightiest," bellowed the giant, "I think I'll drop you off a cliff." "Help, help, somebody help us," wailed the animals. But who could help them now? But just then, a high voice screeched, "George!" And the giant jumped in the air and dropped the 3 animals and fell to the ground. And there, standing in front of the biggest, the baddest, and the mightiest giant in the world was none other than the tiny old woman. She was scaring the daylights out of him. "George," she yelled, "how many times have I told you not to pick on poor helpless creatures?" "Lots of times, Mama," whimpered the giant. "I won't do it again, honest, Mama, I promise." "Good, George," said the woman. "I'm glad to hear that." Well, the animals couldn't believe their eyes. They snatched the crown away from the giant, and they presented it to the little old woman, tiny old woman. "Surely and positively," said the lion. "Without a doubt," said the bear. "This belongs to you, ma'am," said the elephant. "Oh my!" cried the tiny old woman. "How flattering!" "But," said the woman, "I really don't need this. Let's put it back where you found it." "Put it back?" they asked her. "Yes," said the tiny old woman. "I have my little hat, and that is enough for me." And George and the animals looked at her with admiration. The mightiest doesn't need a crown at all. But as soon as they left, the woods became quiet again. The golden crown sat peacefully on its rock, just like before, but not for long.